She cheated on me in college, yet my heart still can't let her go. I never thought betrayal would smell like cigarette smoke and spilled vodka. But that night, it did. I'm standing outside the party, the bass still rattling through the walls. Behind me, and my chest feels hollow, like someone scooped out the parts of me that used to believe in her. My throat burns, not from the whiskey I tried to swallow earlier, but from the sight I can't get out of my head, her lips on his. The very guy I told her about, the one my gut screamed at me to watch out for. I close my eyes and lean against the wall, feeling the cold bricks press into my back. My breath fogs the air, shallow and shaky. I don't cry, not here, not now, but my whole body aches like it wants to. When she steps outside, I hear her before I see her, the sharp click of her heels against concrete, that nervous little laugh she uses when she knows she's been caught, and then her voice, soft, too soft. Hey, it's not what you think. I turn, slowly, because if I move too fast, I'll break. And there she is, the girl I've loved for 4 years, the girl I thought I'd build my life with. Her cheeks are flushed, maybe from alcohol, maybe from guilt. Her lipstick is smudged, and I can't stop staring at the place where his mouth must have been. You kissed him. My voice doesn't even sound like mine. It's flat, hollow. She shakes her head, stepping closer. The smell of her perfume cuts through the night air, sweet and familiar, wrapping around me in a way that hurts more than anything. I was drunk. It didn't mean anything, but it meant something to me. It meant everything to me. I want to reach out, grab her hand, pull her against me, and beg her to tell me this was some kind of sick mistake, but my arms stay at my sides, heavy, useless. You know how I felt about him, I whisper. My voice cracks, and it feels like tearing open a wound. I told you exactly what he was doing, and you still... Her eyes flick away, toward the parking lot, like she can't bear to look at me. Or maybe she doesn't want me to see the truth in her face. The silence stretches, taut and unbearable, until finally she says, I don't know if I can just cut him off. For a moment, I think I misheard her. My heart stumbles in my chest. What? Her arms wrap around herself, defensive, like she's the one who needs protection. I like talking to him. He understands things, and you're always, you know. You get insecure. It feels like she slapped me, hard. My head spins. Insecure. That's what she calls it. The nights I stayed awake worrying, the way my stomach twisted whenever he lingered too close to her, the way I forced myself to trust even when my instincts screamed. Insecure. You'd throw away everything we have for someone you've known 3 weeks. My voice is sharper now, trembling with anger I didn't want to unleash. Her lips part, but she doesn't answer. And in that silence, I already know. Something inside me crumbles. A quiet collapse, like the walls of a house folding in on themselves. After years of rot, I laugh, but it's not the kind of laugh anyone should ever hear. It's broken, bitter. God, I helped you get into this college. I was there for every step. And now, you're standing here telling me he matters more than us. She flinches, like the words actually cut. For half a second, I think she might fight for me, that she might reach out, hold me, beg me not to leave. But instead, she takes a slow step back, then another, and I know she's already gone. I don't remember walking away. I don't remember how I got to my car. All I remember is the cold steering wheel under my hands and the weight of silence pressing against my chest as I realized I was no longer hers. But here's the cruelest part. Even now, even after everything, my stupid, traitorous heart still whispers her name, still aches for her touch, still wants her back. I can't stop it. I don't know how to stop it. And as I sit there in the dark, the glow of my phone screen lighting up my face. I make a decision that will change everything. I'll give her one more chance. It's strange how silence can be louder than any fight. The days after that party felt like being trapped in a room where the walls hum with noise, but you can't quite place the sound. My phone didn't light up with her name anymore. No quick texts. No silly memes. No "I miss you" messages that used to come at midnight. And yet, despite the betrayal, despite the hollow ache, I couldn't stop myself. I reached out. Not over and over, like she accused. Just 3 times. 3 texts in the gray void of no contact. The first was simple. "Can we talk?" No reply. The second was desperate. "Please, just tell me you still care." Again, nothing. The third was quiet. Final. "I don't want to lose you. I just want to fix this." She never answered. Instead, she blocked me, like I was the problem, like I was the one who had broken something sacred. It's insane how quickly the story flips. One moment, you're the person they trust with their secrets, their body, their future. The next, you're just unwanted, deleted, a number on a block list. But even as logic begged me to move on, my heart clung to her. Memories replayed on a loop, each one burning sharper than the last. The first time we met, her laugh echoing in the library when I accidentally dropped my pen for the 3rd time. The way she looked at me, half amused, half curious, like she already knew I'd matter. The nights we studied together, shoulders brushing, the scent of her shampoo mixing with the bitter coffee we lived on. The unspoken tension, the way her leg would press against mine under the table and neither of us moved away, and the moment we first kissed. God, I can still feel it, the hesitation, the pull, the way the world seemed to tilt around us when she finally leaned in. That kiss carried a promise, one I thought would last a lifetime. Now, that promise feels like dust slipping through my fingers. Still, I tried to hold on. I told myself that love is about forgiveness, about patience, about fighting through storms together. So when she said she couldn't cut him off, I should have walked. I know that. Anyone with sense would have left, but I couldn't. Not when I loved her more than I love myself. I offered therapy. I told her we could rebuild. I told her I'd stand by her if she just chose me. But she didn't. She chose him. And the cruelest part? He knew. That guy knew exactly what he was doing. He wanted to break me, to take what wasn't his. One night I got an email from him, out of nowhere, cold and calculated. He called me a loser, told me I'd lost her, told me he was better. The kind of message designed to crawl under your skin and rot there. I remember, staring at the screen, my hands trembling, anger surging hot through my veins. I wanted to reply, to curse him, to shred him with words. But I didn't, because deep down, I knew the only reply he wanted was proof that he'd gotten to me. So I closed the laptop, sat there in the dark, fists clenched, chest heaving, trying not to fall apart. And still, all I wanted was her laugh, her hand in mine, the warmth of her body pressed against me when she was half asleep and mumbled my name. It's pathetic, isn't it? To want someone who's already halfway out the door. But love doesn't care about dignity. It doesn't care about reason. It latches onto your soul like ivy on stone, growing into cracks you didn't even know existed. And once it's in, it's nearly impossible to tear away. I replayed our last conversation over and over, the way she said, "Don't text me again and again," like I was some obsessed stranger, not the man who'd given her 4 years of his life. 3 texts, that's all I sent. 3 words in the silence, and she acted like I'd been haunting her. I wanted to scream, to shake her, to remind her of everything we'd shared. But she'd shut me out completely. So I turned inward. to the memories, to the ache, to the dangerous hope that maybe, someday, she'd realize what she'd thrown away. At night, I'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, haunted by the sound of her laughter in my head. My chest felt heavy, like there was a stone lodged in it, pressing deeper every time I breathed. And yet, in those quiet hours, I found myself whispering her name into the dark, as if saying it might conjure her back to me, as if my voice could slip through the cracks of her new world and remind her of mine. But the truth was undeniable. She had moved on. She had chosen him. And I was left standing in the ruins, still reaching for her ghost. Still, part of me clung to one fragile thread. Maybe she blocked me because it hurt too much to see my name. Maybe, deep down, she still loved me, even if she couldn't admit. It's a dangerous hope. But it's all I have, and as much as I want to hate her, I can't. Because love doesn't vanish in an instant. It lingers. It burns. It consumes. Even in betrayal, it holds you captive. And me? I'm still hers, even if she's no longer mine. I didn't expect the silence to last so long. Days bled into weeks, and still, no word. No flicker of her name on my phone. No chance encounters in the places we used to frequent. She vanished from my life as though 4 years together meant nothing. But love makes fools of us. Instead of anger hardening into resolve, I found myself softening in ways I didn't want to admit. Every night I told myself I'd let go, and every morning the first thought in my head was her. I carried her ghost everywhere. The empty passenger seat beside me in the car, where she once sang off-key to our favorite songs. The space in my bed that still felt warm with her memory. Even in the mirror, I could see the shadow of her fingers running through my hair, the way she used to when she thought I wasn't paying attention. One night it became unbearable. I was sitting at my desk, the laptop screen glowing dimly, when I opened an old folder by mistake. Photos, hundreds of them. Her smile in every season. The two of us standing in front of her college gates, the day I'd helped her move in. She'd been so excited, eyes shining, hands clinging to mine like she couldn't believe we were really stepping into that future together. I couldn't look away, and before I could stop myself, words began spilling out of me. Not into a message, because she'd blocked me everywhere but onto a blank page, a confession. I don't know how to stop loving you. I don't know how to shut it off like a light switch. I still wake up thinking about the way your hair smells after the rain, or how your eyes crinkle when you're trying not to laugh. I know you've chosen someone else, but I can't erase you. You're stitched into everything I am. Even the broken parts of me still reach for you. I typed and typed, the words pouring like blood from an open wound. It wasn't meant to be sent. Not really. It was just something I had to get out, or it would drown me. But in the quiet, I whispered the words aloud, as if speaking them into the dark might carry them across the distance between us. That was the first time I realized it wasn't just about wanting her back. It was about needing her to know, needing her to understand what she meant to me, even if she'd buried us under betrayal, and maybe that was my first real confession. Not to her, but to myself. I still loved her, helplessly. The days after that night felt different. Not lighter, but sharper, like I'd peeled back something raw inside me. Everywhere I went, I carried that confession in my chest. I started noticing her presence in the smallest things. At the cafe near campus, someone ordered her drink, extra foam, too much sugar, and the scent hit me like a wave. My hands shook as I stirred my own coffee. Walking through the park, I passed the bench where we once sat for hours, her head on my shoulder, the world around us fading until it felt like we were the only two people alive. Each memory was both poison and balm. Painful, but the only way I still felt connected to her. One evening, restless, I drove by her campus. I told myself it was just coincidence, just a detour. But deep down, I knew. I was searching for her, and then I saw her. Not close, not enough to speak, but across the quad, under the golden haze of the setting sun. She was laughing with someone, head tilted back, hair catching the light in that way that always made her look unreal, untouchable. For a second, my body froze. Every instinct screamed to go to her, to call her name, to close the distance and beg her to look at me the way she once did. But I didn't. I stayed rooted, hidden in the shadow of the trees, my heart pounding against my ribs like it wanted to break free. And watching her, I whispered the truth under my breath. I still love you. The words cracked something inside me because I knew she couldn't hear them, knew they'd never reach her. And yet, saying them made them real, tangible, a weight I couldn't pretend I didn't carry. Later that night, I dreamed of her. In the dream, we weren't broken. We were sitting on her dorm bed, her legs tangled with mine, the world outside, irrelevant. She touched my cheek and whispered, "You're the only one I'll ever want." When I woke, the echo of her voice lingered, soft and cruel. My chest felt tight, as if the dream had carved its way into reality. And for the first time, since it all began, I let myself cry. Not the silent kind I'd been holding back, but raw, shuddering sobs that shook my entire body. Because the truth was undeniable. I loved her. Still. And she was gone. But confessions are strange things. Once you admit one truth, others follow. Confessed to myself that I loved her. Then I confessed that I hated him. Hated the way he smirked in that email, the way he twisted her, the way he made me feel small. And then I confessed the darkest truth of all. Maybe I hated myself more for not being enough, for seeing it coming and still holding on, for offering second chances she didn't deserve. That's the weight I carried alone in the dark. Yet even as those confessions gutted me, I found myself imagining, what if? What if she called me one night, voice trembling, and said she regretted it? What if she admitted she still loved me? What if there was a universe where she chose me again? That fragile, dangerous hope kept me breathing. Because in the end, all my confessions boiled down to one truth. I would take her back. No matter. The cost, and maybe, that's what scares me most. Not losing her, but losing myself in her, all over again. There's only so long you can carry silence before it cracks you open. By the time a month had passed, I was no longer myself. Not really. I moved through my days like a ghost wearing my skin, attending lectures, scrolling through feeds, pretending to laugh when friends tried to pull me back into life. But underneath, I was drowning. Everywhere I went, she was there. Not physically, she'd made sure of that. But in the thousand ways love lingers long after it's gone. The playlist we built together when we first started dating. The scarf of hers still hanging in my closet, soft and faintly scented like vanilla and jasmine. The scribbled notes she used to leave in my textbooks. "You've got this. Proud of you." Each one was a knife. Small, precise, but relentless. And then there was him. The guy she threw it all away for. The one I knew in my bones was no good for her. His email replayed in my head on a loop. "Loser. You lost her. She chose me. It ate at me." I wanted to believe she'd realize what she'd done. That she'd see him for what he really was. That she'd come running back to me, tears in her eyes, ready to start over. But the weeks stretched long, and she never came. One evening, I cracked. I was walking past her campus again. I told myself it was coincidence, but it wasn't. Some part of me was addicted to proximity, like being near her, even if I couldn't touch her, was the only way to keep breathing. And then I saw her, Not across the quad this time. Closer. So close I could see the way her lips curved as she spoke, the small crease that always formed between her brows when she listened intently. She was with him. His hand brushed hers, and though she didn't pull away, she didn't seem fully there either. My chest tightened. I froze, half hidden by the shadow of a lamppost, and watched. It was unbearable. Torture. And yet I couldn't leave. Something primal surged inside me, louder than reason. Before I knew it, I was moving, steps heavy, heart pounding, as though gravity itself dragged me toward her. When she finally noticed me, her face paled. "You shouldn't be here," she whispered. Her words sliced through me, but I didn't. "Stop." I stood just a breath away, close enough to smell the faint trace of her perfume, that familiar mix of vanilla and rain-soaked earth. "I had to see you," I said, my voice rough, trembling. "Just once. I can't keep pretending I don't exist to you." He shifted beside her, smug. I ignored him. My eyes locked on hers, desperate, pleading. "Do you really not feel anything?" I asked softly. "After everything we've been through, after everything I gave you, you can stand there and say it means nothing?" Her lips parted. For a second I saw it, the flicker of conflict in her eyes, the storm she tried to bury. But then she shook her head, sharp, as though forcing herself back into armor. "You need to let me go." The words shattered me. And yet, I leaned closer, voice breaking. "I can't. Don't you get it? I can't. I love you. I never stopped, not for a second." There it was, the confession I'd been choking on for weeks. The raw truth spilling into the night air, undeniable, irreversible. She swallowed, hard. Her hands fidgeted, twisting the edge of her sleeve, an old nervous habit I knew by heart. She was trembling. He stepped forward, a smirk tugging at his lips. "She doesn't want you, man. Move on." Rage flared hot in my chest, but I didn't take the bait. My eyes stayed on her. Only her. "Tell me," I whispered. "Look me in the eye and tell me you don't love me anymore. If you can say it, I'll walk away right now." The silence between us stretched, electric and suffocating. Her throat bobbed. Her eyes glistened under the lamplight, unshed tears shimmering like glass. But she didn't answer. She couldn't. And that silence was all the proof I needed. I took a shuddering breath, my chest tight. "I would have given you everything. I still would. Even now, after everything, you're still the only person I want." Her lips trembled. "You don't understand." "Then make me understand." My voice cracked, fierce and desperate. "Why him? Why not us?" She closed her eyes, a single tear slipping free. "Because it's easier to run into something new than to face what we broke." The words gutted. Me. Easier. That's all I was worth. Replaced because starting over hurt, less than repairing the pieces of us. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. My knees felt weak, my entire body trembling with the weight of it all. And then, without thinking, I reached for her hand. Our fingers brushed, tentative, electric. A spark raced up my arm, searing into my chest. She didn't pull away. Not immediately. For a fragile heartbeat, it was like old times. Like we were still tethered, still alive in each other's orbit. I whispered the truth against the space between us. "You're still mine, even if you won't admit it. You feel this. I know. You do." Her breath hitched. Her grip faltered. For one dangerous second, she leaned closer, her face inches from mine, lips trembling with unspoken words. And then she ripped her hand away. "No." Her voice broke. "I can't do this." She turned, almost stumbling, and walked away. He followed, his smug grin burning into me as he glanced back. and I was left standing under the lamplight, chest heaving, heart in pieces, her touch still burning on my skin. That night, something inside me snapped, because for the first time, I understood the cruelest truth. She might love me still. She might feel it in the quiet moments when she thinks no one's watching, but she would never choose me again. And that knowledge broke me more than her betrayal ever could. I can't sleep. The ceiling stares back at me, blank and merciless. My hands are restless, twitching across the sheets as if reaching for her, for a ghost I can't touch. Days have passed since that night on the quad, days in which I've done nothing but replay the almost touch, the shimmer in her eyes when she hesitated, the way her hand lingered just a fraction too long. That hesitation, it wasn't nothing. It never was. I finally decide to drive. Aimless, desperate, following. A force I don't even understand. Her campus is quiet this late, streetlights casting a golden haze on the sidewalks. And there she is, like a vision I can't quite believe. Alone. No him this time. My chest tightens. My steps falter, but I push forward. She looks up as I approach, surprise flashing across her face before it melts into guarded calm. "Why are you here?" Her voice is barely above a whisper. I swallow the lump in my throat. I can't stop myself. I had to see you. Had to talk to you. Her eyes dart away, and I recognize the same old hesitation, the same storm behind her gaze that once pulled me in like gravity. After everything, why? She asks finally, voice trembling. Because I love you, I say simply. No embellishments, no grand declarations, just the raw, unshakable truth. I've loved you through everything, even the betrayal, even the silence, even when you chose him. I still love you. Her lips part slightly, like she wants to argue, like she wants to retreat. But something holds her there, something fragile, electric, drawing her closer. I step forward. My hand hovers near hers, uncertain, terrified of being rejected again. But then, she doesn't pull away, not immediately. Her fingers brush mine lightly, testing the waters. And in that touch I feel it, the spark that never really died. Do you? I whisper. Do you feel it too? Her eyes glisten. I can see the conflict, the hesitation, the desire she refuses to speak aloud. She swallows hard. And finally, her voice comes low, breathy, vulnerable. Yes, I can't deny it. I close the distance slowly, letting every step carry the weight of 4 years, every heartbeat a silent apology and plea. She doesn't back away. She lets me come closer. When our faces are inches apart, I feel the tremble in her lips, the way her breath catches, and I know this is the moment we've been circling around, the moment our confessions and longing converge into something real, tangible. Tell me you want me, I murmur, voice husky with longing. Her eyelids flutter. She looks down for a heartbeat, then back up, and I see the vulnerability laid bare. I do. I can't stop myself anymore. I reach up and cup her face, thumb brushing her cheekbone, tracing the curve of her jaw. The warmth of her skin, the softness beneath my fingers, is intoxicating. My other hand finds hers, entwining fingers in a grip that's both desperate and tender. For a moment, we just stand there, breathing, heartbeats sinking. The world outside ceases to exist. Only the two of us, and the thread of desire and love that's been pulling us together for months, for years. I've waited so long for this, I whisper almost to myself. She leans into my hand, closing the tiny gap between us, letting me feel the truth of her body. I didn't know if I could come back. I was scared. I shake my head, pressing my forehead against hers. You were never gone. Not really. You never left me, even when you tried. The confession hangs between us, heavy and sweet, grounding us in the rawness of the moment. I lean in slowly, savoring every inch of proximity. She mirrors me, breath hitching, letting the intimacy build until it becomes almost unbearable. Our lips brush, feather-light at first, testing the territory, tasting the old, familiar sweetness. Her fingers curl into my hair, pulling me closer, and suddenly the restraint shatters. The kiss deepens, rich with longing and confession and pain, and forgiveness all wrapped into one. Every suppressed desire, every stolen memory, every heartbreak poured into this single, impossible moment. It's everything. It's all the years and the fights and the betrayals and the confessions distilled into one perfect, fragile connection. When we finally break apart for air, our foreheads still pressed together, I whisper against her lips, "I don't care about the past. Only us. Only now." She shivers in response, letting herself be present, letting herself fall into me. "I want only you. I've always wanted only you." It's a simple truth, yet it carries the weight of everything we've endured. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the silence, the longing. They all fade in this one affirmation. We stay there, holding each other under the golden streetlights, the world outside suspended. I trace her back, feel her heartbeat align with mine, and in that perfect, quiet eternity, I realize something fundamental. Love isn't clean, it isn't rational, and it certainly isn't easy, but it is undeniable. And we, finally, are undeniable, together. Hours later, when the night has grown quiet and the campus sleeps, we walk hand in hand. Our fingers still intertwined, the ache of lost time lingering but no longer unbearable. I steal a glance at her, the girl who betrayed and haunted and loved me in equal measure, and she smiles, soft, unguarded, real. Not the cautious smile of someone testing the waters, not the smirk hiding secrets, just her, the one I've wanted, the one I've loved, the one who never truly left my heart. "I miss this," I murmur, voice low, carrying the weight of every lonely night, every aching day. "Me too," she whispers back, leaning into my shoulder. And in that simple, unadorned admission, all the tension, all the longing, all the heartbreak dissolves. We keep walking, step by step, slowly reclaiming the rhythm we once had. And for the first time since that fateful party, I feel a clarity. I didn't know I'd been craving. Love isn't perfect. It's messy, painful, and sometimes terrifying. But in that moment, with her hand in mine, with her heart open to me again, I understand that it's worth every scar, every betrayal, every sleepless night, because this, us, is everything. The past will always whisper, but the present is ours. The future, uncertain but thrilling, lies before us, wide and open, and I know with every fiber of my being that no one will ever pull her away from me again. Finally, I let myself breathe. Finally, I let myself love her completely.